as a mother was screaming because her 3-year-old child was in the house, and he was drinking some beers.
America, there's a man sitting at Rikers Island right now, and he's not going anywhere today. He has no bail. He's charged with 4 murders. But here's what New York City just put in writing as an official government policy, that the day his criminal case ends, whether that's a year from now or 5 years from now, they will not pick up the phone and call ICE. He will walk right out of that jail. Federal immigration agents will have no idea what happened. Mayor Zohran Mamdani's city made that guarantee on April 16th, 2026. He bought a beer, stole a second one, set a building on fire with the 3-year-old sleeping inside, stood on the sidewalk, and watched 4 people die. And the city of New York just signed a paper saying he gets to disappear when it's all over.
38-year-old Roman Amatitla is charged with second-degree murder and first-degree arson.
What is up, guys? Tyson here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Let me walk you through exactly what happened that morning because the details matter here. Roman Amatitla, 38-year-old. He's a Mexican national living in the United States illegally. I got to add that on there. He's living here illegally. On the morning of March 16, 2026, he got into a fight at work and he got fired. That's the reason. That is the reason, my friends. He told investigators he needed to get, quote unquote, some rage out. He had never been to this building. He didn't know a single person inside. He just picked it at random. He walked into the building at 11:43 in the morning, walked back out, came back, left again, urinated on the front, and then crossed the street to BP gas station. Watch what prosecutors said what he did at the gas station.
This was a man who, before he put the house on fire, went to go get beers, then asked to buy a lighter. He was told he had to pay for the lighter, asked for matches. Then he went back to the location.
He didn't panic. He didn't run. He planned his next step. He grabbed what he needed, then walked back. That is not rage. That is an absolute decision. He went back to the building the 4th time. He lit a piece of paper on fire. He placed it on top of a pile of trash at the bottom of the staircase and then walked back outside. And he drank. 74 FDNY units showed up, 231 firefighters. 2 of those firefighters, a lieutenant and his following firefighter from engine 273, fell through the staircase that collapsed while they were trying to rescue people. Their colleagues had to pull them out. Both were taken to the hospital with burns and smoke inhalation. That's who was doing the real work on March 16, 2026, while Amatitla stood there on the sidewalk with a stolen beer. I want you guys to understand who was actually in the building because these are not statistics here. These are people whose names deserve to be said out loud. Shihan Zing was 3 years old. Firefighters found her in her bed on the 3rd floor. She never got up. She never made it to the window. Obviously, she didn't know where it was, and she's probably not old enough to do that. She died from smoke inhalation in the same spot that she fell asleep. She had no idea what was coming. She was 3 years old. 3 years old, you guys. Shengri Ku was 49 years old. Shi Qing Ming was 61 years old. Both found inside, both dead, before they could even get out. Hung Zhou was 64 years old. He made it to the window. He jumped. He hit the floor and broke multiple bones and suffered a serious brain injury. He survived the fire itself, but he died later that afternoon at New York Queens Hospital. He jumped to survive a fire that a man started and didn't make it.
There's an unexpected twist in a fire that killed 4 people because it's now being called a homicide. The fire broke out last week at a building in Flushing, Queens. A 3-year-old little girl and 3 adults died in this. Police haven't said why they're classifying the fire as a homicide or whether they have any suspects.
Queens DA Melinda Katz, a Democrat, elected in a Democrat city, stood in front of cameras and called Roman Amatitla's actions one of the greatest crimes this borough has seen in a very long time. She called it exactly what it is here.
This is probably the most severe crime that this borough has seen in the last few years.
New disturbing details revealed in court about the man accused of setting the this building on fire and killing 4 complete strangers, including a 3-year-old girl.
He didn't even know a single name. He didn't have a single grievance with a single person inside that building. He just needed somewhere to aim his anger. Now here's where this story becomes something bigger than just one crime. Amatitla was arrested on April 8th. He was brought before a judge on April 9th. He's been sitting at Rikers Island without bail since that day. He's not walking out today. That part, you guys, is handled. But ICE, the federal agents who handle deportations for illegal immigrants, sent an official request to New York City's jail on April 14, 2026. That request is called an ICE detainer. Think of it as a note that says, when this man's criminal case is done, whether he gets convicted, takes a deal, or anything in between, do not let him walk out without calling us first. Hold him. We will come get him. That's standard. That happens thousands of times a year all over the country. New York City's official answer 2 days later was, you guys guessed it, it was no.
Mamdani will make New Yorkers less safe as a direct result of this policy. When politicians bar local law enforcement from working with DHS, our law enforcement officers have to have a more visible presence so that we can find and apprehend the criminals and let them out of jails back into communities.
DHS is telling you exactly what that no produces. It doesn't make illegal immigrants safer from enforcement. It just moves enforcement outside of the jail walls into neighborhoods. DHS Acting Assistant Secretary Lauren Biss went on the record. She named Mayor Zohran Mamdani. She named Governor Kathy Hochul. She told them both publicly, honor this detainer. Do not release this man without calling ICE. As of the recording of this video, neither one have responded. And here's the detail that most outlets are not putting front and center. Mamdani did not create his sanctuary policy in response to this case. He signed his executive order on February 6th, 2026, 40 days before Amatitla ever walked into that building. The infrastructure that will eventually let Amatitla walk out Rikers without ICE being called, Mamdani built it. Mamdani paid for it. Mamdani signed his name to it before Shin Zhang's building even set on fire. Listen to how Mamdani describes the federal agency his policy blocks from collecting a man who murdered a 3-year-old.
ICE is more than a rogue agency. It is a manifestation of the abuse of power. And it is also new. It was founded only in 2002. 4 mayors ago, it did not exist. Its wrongs need not be treated as inevitable or inherited. In fact, we know that there is no reforming something so rotten and so base.
Something so rotten. That is his description of the only agency standing between Amatitla and a clean exit from a New York City jail. That executive order, my friends, does more than block ICE from city-owned buildings. It created a task force that springs into action the moment federal immigration enforcement shows up anywhere in the city. It ordered every city agency to audit whether they've been cooperating with ICE and stop if they have been. And my friends, it was funded with New York City taxpayer money. Your money, New York. This is your money used to build a wall between federal agents and a man who watched a 3-year-old burn to death. That same week, ICE detainer refused, 4 people dead, Amatitla at Rikers. Mamdani stepped in front of the cameras and he was outraged. Not about the people dying, about something completely different.
Despite every indication that he was doing everything the right way, he still found himself a victim of egregious government overreach. Our office will continue to monitor this situation closely and ensure that he and his loved ones get the support that they need.
Mayor Mamdani releasing a statement saying he's outraged, adding, "This is an assault on our democracy and our city and our values. I am calling for his immediate release."
The man ICE detained had prior arrests for assault and entering the country on a tourist visa that was expired. ICE said he had no legal right to be here. Mamdani called his detention an assault on democracy. Now, my friends watching this video, go look at Mamdani's public statement about Yang. Look for the press conference where he addresses a 3-year-old found in the bed, dead. Look for the statement released about Zhao jumping out of a window and dying on the pavement. Check the record, because the silence from this mayor, who found time to call a data analyst's deportation an assault on democracy, that silence is its own statement about who he has decided what matters in that city. New York refusing ICE detainers is not a new story. It's not just about Amatitla. The Department of Homeland Security released the numbers here. From January 20th, 2025 through December 1st, 2025, 1 year, New York City released 6,947 illegal immigrants who had criminal records from city custody. Released them without ever calling ICE. Among those 6,497 people who walked out without ICE being notified, and right now, today, there are 7,113 more illegal immigrants sitting in New York jails with active ICE detainers on file. 7,000 people ICE has officially asked to be notified about. New York is sitting on all 7,111 of those requests, not honoring a single damn one.
His defense attorney is Vivian Cedeno.
We intend to vigorously represent him, and I would ask that we let the legal system play out.
Let the legal system play out. That's the plan. And Mamdani's policy guarantees that when the legal system finishes, whenever that is, the next system, the immigration system, never gets its turn. Amatitla faces up to 25 years to life if convicted. His next court date is on May 12th. Whatever happens after that, whatever deal gets made, whatever sentence gets handed down, when that jail door opens, Mayor Moron Mamdani's New York City has made a written commitment to let him disappear into the country that was already supposed to have deported him. Listen how DHS described who else is responsible for this situation, because Mamdani didn't build this alone. Hochul went first. She proposed the state law. Mamdani signed an executive order that mirrors it on the city level. 2 elected Democrats sharing one goal: 4 people dead in Flushings. America, nobody who's paying attention is calling this a mistake. Mamdani didn't accidentally sign an order that now protects a man who burned a 3-year-old while drinking a stolen beer. He signed it on purpose. He called ICE rotten on purpose. He spent $165 million defending illegal immigrants from deportations on purpose. He built a task force to interfere with federal enforcement on purpose. And Hochul proposed the state version of the same thing before Mamdani even took office. The result of all those deliberate choices is sitting in a courtroom with a May 12th date on his calendar. When that calendar runs out, Mamdani's New York will let him vanish into the country. Not because of a mistake here, not because of an oversight, because the system was built specifically to produce that type of outcome. Yang was 3 years old. A firefighter found her in bed. Her mayor has never even said her name publicly. Some people in this country choose who matters. The receipts don't lie. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.